Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Emma Tutorials, and today's video is on the summary of the play A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. A Midsummer Night's Dream is a 5-act play. The first act presents the main characters and introduces the story of the play. It opens with Theseus, the Duke of Athens, discussing with Hippolyta on their intended wedding. Then Aegeus, Hermia, Lysander, and Demetrius enter. Aegeus complains of his daughter Hermia refusing to marry his choice of man, Demetrius, who loves her but she doesn't love him. She doesn't love Demetrius. Hermia is loved by two men, Lysander and Demetrius. But she loves Lysander and wants to marry him, but her father wants her to marry Demetrius. As a result, her father asks that the law of Athens of putting a child to death or sending her to convent to become a nun be executed on his daughter Hermia. Hermia says to be sent to a convent instead of marrying Demetrius. Theseus tells her that Athens' law will be executed on her on the next new moon, which is the day he, Theseus, will marry Hippolyta. Demetrius begs Hermia to reconsider her decision, and Lysander exposes the secret affair between Demetrius and Hermia's friend, Helena, who adores Demetrius. Theseus, who is tired of listening to them, asks Aegeus and Demetrius to follow him as they leave. Lysander and Hermia talked about the events that just took place, and Lysander suggested that they get married at his auntie's place, who lives outside Athens, where Athens' law cannot be enforced on them. They agreed to meet in the woods tomorrow night. Then enters Helena, whom Hermia greeted and called fair, but Helena only expressed jealousy and complained of Demetrius, whom she loves, only considers Hermia fair and not her. Hermia tries to assure her that she doesn't love Demetrius and that in fact she hates him. But Demetrius seems to find her scorn attractive. She assured Helena of not having a reason to bother about her and Demetrius. Lysander unveils their plan to elope to Helena. Helena in turn tells Demetrius, with hope of staying with him while he looks for them, Lysander and Helena, in the woods. Scene 2. This scene starts with a gathering of artisans, queens, snug, bottom, flute, snout, and stavlin. They've gathered to rehearse a play. Queens works as the director of the play they want to rehearse and perform before the Duke and Duchess. The Duke and Duchess are Theseus and Hippolyta on the day of their wedding. He asked if everyone was present. Bottom advised him to take a roll call and also tells him to tell them what the play is all about. Queens describes the play as a lamentable comedy, and Bottom liked it and encouraged him to call out the names of the actors. Queens called out the names of the actors and assigned roles to each person. Bottom is to play the role of Pyramus, a lover who killed himself for love. Flute is to play the role of Thisbe, a wandering knight who was loved by Pyramus. Flute begged not to be asked to play a feminine role, and Bottom asked that the role be given to him but was declined by Queens, as insists Bottom plays Pyramus and Flute plays Thisbe, mentioning that Flute will play his role under a mask. Stavlin will play the role of the tailor, Thisbe's mother. Snout will play the role of the tinker, Pyramus' father, and himself, Queens, will play the role of Thisbe's father. Then Bottom opted to also play the part of a lion and promised not to roar harshly but gently as a nightingale to avoid being hung by the Duke for frightening the ladies. Queens maintained that he only plays the part of Pyramus. Queens asked them to have a mastery of their roles and meet him at the palace woods tomorrow night. where they will rehearse out of people's sight, and also promise to provide the necessary props for the play. Bottom assured they will meet there as the artisans. Act 2, Scene 1. Two fairies, Puck and Fairy, come on stage. Puck asked Fairy where she was going. She said she was going over to the hill, and her job is to wander everywhere, meeting the fairy queen's niece. Puck asked her to keep the queen away from meeting the king of fairies, Oberon. Oberon is the name of the king of the fairies, as he is very angry and jealous of the queen, who with her attendants stole a child from an Indian king. The child has been a source of joy to the queen, and she pays a lot of attention to him. The king is jealous because he has been deprived of some lovely moments with the queen since the boy was stolen from the Indian king. Fairy recognizes Puck and describes him as the one that wanders at night and makes jest. Puck agrees that he is the one and mentions that the king loves his jest. Then the fairy king, Oberon, and the fairy queen, Titania, enter. They had an argument over their love affairs with humans. Titania accused Oberon of having an amorous affair with Philda, also known as Hippolyta, the queen of Amazon, who is now betrothed to Theseus, the king of Athens. Oberon accused her of having an amorous affair with Theseus. Titania called his accusation a forgery of his jealousy and goes on to list the damages he had made in human ecosystem due to jealousy. Oberon asked her to amend it and begged for the little boy to be given to him. Titania refused and talked about her friendly relationship with the mother of the child. Oberon begs again to be given the child, but she refuses and exits with her train of fairies. Oberon beckons on Puck and asks him to fetch a certain purple flower that works as a love charm that he saw while listening to a mermaid on Dolphin's back sing. He plans on squeezing the juice into Titania's eyes while she is asleep and make her fall in love with the first creature she sees when she wakes up, to enable him take the boy from her. As he was talking, he heard voices approaching. Then Demetrius and Helena enter. Demetrius tells Helena of how much he despises her and loathes her company. But Helena keeps prophesying her love for him and begs to be used as his dog, which irritates Demetrius. Demetrius threatens to abandon her in the woods to the mercy of wild animals, but she insisted on following him. Demetrius leaves Helena and Helena follows, declaring that she will follow him to die upon the hand she loves. Oberon, who has been watching from a hidden place, fed them well. Then Puck enters with the flower. Oberon receives it and asks him to use part of it on Demetrius' eyes to make him love Helena. Act 2, Scene 2. Titania calls on fairies to sing her to sleep. When she has slept, the second fairy tells other fairies to leave as Titania is now asleep. Oberon enters and squeezes the love charm flower on Titania's eyes so that she will fall in love with the first creature that she sees immediately she wakes up, be it cat or bear, boa or panda. Then Lysander enters with Hermia and found a spot to sleep. Hermia asks Lysander to find a different spot for himself as it is immodest for them to lay down together before marriage. Lysander begged to sleep by her, but she maintained her stand. Then Puck enters, complaining that he hadn't seen anyone dressed as Athenian to put the juice in his eyes, and suddenly he saw Lysander wearing Athenian leaves and assumed he was Demetrius. Thus he applied the juice in Lysander's eyes and leaves. Demetrius and Helena enter. Demetrius continues telling Helena how he despises her, and Helena keeps praying for his love. Demetrius leaves, and Helena was distraught. She compared herself to Hermia and concludes that she is very ugly to the extent that even beasts despise her. Then she saw Lysander lying down and went to find out if he was dead or alive. Lysander wakes up and begins confessing his love to her. Helena was annoyed at this and she believes it is completely a mockery. She begs Lysander to stop mocking her, but Lysander continued making efforts to make her understand he loves her and doesn't want Demetrius around her anymore. He even promised to marry her, that is, make her his knight. She was really pissed at Lysander and then she left. Lysander sees Hermia still asleep. He speaks of how he now hates Hermia and loves Helena and is willing to be her knight. That is, Helena's knight. He is it. Hermia wakes up and calls out to Lysander to come help her pluck away the serpent on her breast. Then she realized it was a dream. She also realized that Lysander was not around. Then she leaves in search of him. Act 3. The artisans, crines, snug, flutes, snout, and stavlin meet in the wood for rehearsals as they agreed. Bottom asks if everyone is present and crines points to a good spot for their rehearsals. Bottom reveals there are some parts of the play that may not be suitable for female audience, like the scene where Paramus would have to kill himself. Snout notes that it will arouse fear, while Stavlin suggests it be left out. Bottom figured that a prologue suggesting that the killing isn't true will help to placate the fear it might arouse. Then Queens agrees. Then Snout asks if ladies won't be afraid in the scene that involves lion. Bottom suggests that the lion will be made less fearful by making it bear the actor's name and exposing the actor's face in the lion's costume. Then Queens agrees. They figured how the moon will be made to shine on their stage and how they will use one of the actors to represent the wall. Queens asks everyone to sit down and rehearse his role. Puck enters and sees them rehearsing close to the cradle of the fairy queen and decides to watch. Bottom took his lines and leaves. Puck follows him because he considers his role strange. Others continued with the rehearsals, and when it was Bottom's cue to speak again, he appears with an ass's head, and other actors ran away from him. Puck follows them and leads them around the wood. Bottom wondered why they ran away from him and figured it was a ploy to make him afraid. Snout re-enters and asks what was on Bottom's head and is it. Queens enters and tells him he is translated and leaves. Bottom concludes it was a knavery to make an ass of him and fright him from the place. He decides to prove that he isn't afraid by staying there and singing. His singing wakes Titania, the fairy queen. She urges Bottom to keep singing and proclaims she loves him. Bottom says it's unreasonable for her to love him, but decides to click upon the occasion. He mentioned he would love to leave the wood if he could, but Titania says she will not allow him to go because she loves him and will give him fairies to attend to all his needs. Titania commands her fairy servants, Peace Blossom, Cobweb, Moth, and Mustard Seed, to take good care of Bottom. Bottom interacted with them and got to know them. Then Titania asks her fairies to tie up Bottom's tongue and bring him to her as it is about to rain. Act 3, Scene 2. This scene takes place in another part of the wood. Everyone is seen wondering what happens when Titania wakes up. Then Puck enters and tells him that Titania is now in love with a monster. He tells him how he changed Bottom's head to an ass head, which made the other crew members who came to rehearse a play with him in the wood for Caesar's nuptial day run away from him. Oberon is delighted at how he carried out the assignment and inquired about his assignment on the Athenian, and he said he saw him sleeping and put the juice in his eyes. Then Hermia and Demetrius enter. They discover that the juice has been placed on a wrong person. Hermia accused Demetrius of killing Lysander in his sleep because he looks like a murderer, and Demetrius accused Hermia of not looking like a murderer after murdering him, Demetrius, with hatred. Demetrius assured her he did not kill him, he did not kill Lysander, neither is he dead. Hermia leaves to look for him, promising Demetrius never to see her anymore. Demetrius was sad and he decides against following her in her bad mood, but rather lie down and sleeps. Oberon asks Puck to quickly go and find Helena and bring her to charm Demetrius' eyes to love her. Puck quickly brings Helena, followed by Lysander. Lysander keeps wooing Helena while Helena is irritated by all that Lysander tells her because she feels he is only mocking her. Demetrius wakes up and falls in love with Helena. He began saying nice things to her, and this heightened the frustrations she already feels with Lysander and scorned them for being so mean to mock her in such manner. Lysander asks Demetrius to leave Helena for him and go for Hermia that he loves, as he would love Helena till death. Demetrius says his love for Hermia is all gone and has now returned home to Helena. Hearing all this got Helena more irritated. Hermia enters and is happy to see Lysander but confused at the things that he says to her about hating her and loving Helena. Helena accuses Hermia of being in conspiracy with the two men to chide her, asking her if she has forgotten all of the joyful childhood and youthful friendship they have shared to join the men in mocking her. Hermia was surprised at Helena, and Helena asked her if she wasn't the person that asked Lysander to mock her, and Demetrius to call her nice names. She asked Hermia to pity her than despise her and believed strongly that Hermia masterminded all that is happening. Demetrius and Lysander keep fighting verbally over Helena while Hermia remains confused at Lysander's change of character and rudeness to her. Lysander keeps talking about how much he hates Hermia and loves Helena. Hermia accuses Helena of stealing Lysander's love and making him prefer her because she is taller. Helena confessed to divulging Lysander's and Hermia's secret of eloping to Demetrius. The men continued to fight over Helena and Hermia left in shock at the event. They all exhaust the stage. Oberon points to the disaster Puck created, and Puck exonerated himself by pointing out that the two men are dressed in Athenian clothes. Oberon gives him a different juice to undo the charm on Lysander's eyes and leaves. Lysander enters, ready for a fight with Demetrius. He orders him to speak wherever he is. Then Puck responded, pretending to be Demetrius, and Lysander follows Puck's voice and exits the stage. Demetrius enters, ordering Lysander to speak wherever he is. Then Puck led him out of the stage. They keep wandering around the wood, looking for each other until night, and they fall asleep. Helena enters, falls asleep, and Hermia enters and also falls asleep. Then Puck enters, squeezes the remedy juice into Lysander's eyes while he was asleep. Act 4. Lysander, Demetrius, Helena, and Hermia are still asleep. Then enters Titania, Bottom, and the fairy maids, Peace Blossom, Cobweb, Moth, Mustard Seed, and those are the fairy maids. Bottom was kept on a flowery bed by Titania. He orders the fairy maids on what to do and get for him. They all got busy attending to him, and Titania brings him food. He asks not to be disturbed as he wants to sleep. Titania winds him to sleep and speaks of how much she does on him before she sleeps. Oberon and Puck enter. Oberon reveals he had taken the child from Titania and removes the charm on her eyes. When she wakes up, she reunites with Oberon, and Oberon orders Puck to remove the transformed art's head from Bottom, and now everything is alright, and everyone will think about the nice accident as a dream. Theseus, Hippolyta, Aegeus, and the train enter the wood for hunting and meet Lysander, Demetrius, Helena, and Hermia sleeping, and they wake them up with hands, and they all jot up from their sleep. Theseus is surprised to see the enemies Demetrius and Lysander sleep close to each other, and inquired how they resolved their enmity. Lysander narrates how he came to the wood, and Demetrius disclosed how Helena told him about Hermia's and Lysander's plan to elope, but when he saw Hermia in the wood, his love for her melted away, and that he now loves Helena. Theseus promised to unite them and suspends the expedition that brought him and others to the wood, and promised to hold a feast in solemnity of their love, and asked them to follow him. They wondered what type of vision they had seen in the past hours, and doubted if they were really awake. Bottom awakes and, like others, is confused of what happened in the past few hours. He believes it was a dream, too complicated to be understood by man, and decides to get Queens to write a ballad of his dream, and he will call it Bottom's Dream because it has no bottom. Act 5. Theseus, Hippolyta, Philostrates, Laws, and attendants enter. Hippolyta mentions how strange the lovers sound. Theseus agreed it was very strange and compared the brains of a madman and that of lovers to have lots of similarities. Hippolyta talks about how strange but admirable the story of the lovers were. The lovers, Lysander, Demetrius, Hermia, and Helena enter, and Theseus welcomes them. Theseus calls for an entertainment from Philostrates, and Philostrates presents a list of spots for the night's entertainment. He rejected a lot of them and chose the play rehearsed by Bottom and his crew. Philostrates advised he does not choose the play because it has some violent scenes. Theseus insists he would have the play. Queens enters with the prologue, which Theseus, Lysander, Hippolyta feels sounds like that of a child. They were not pleased. As the play goes on, Theseus, Demetrius, and Lysander keep on commenting on it and also on the actors. At the end of the play, the three lovers, Theseus and Hippolyta, Lysander and Hermia, Demetrius and Helena, go off to bed. The fairies enter and entertain themselves with songs and dances, and Oberon bless the couples. Titania, Oberon, and the train leave, while Puck asks the audience to forgive any offense caused by the play and urge them to believe it was all just a dream. This is where the curtain of the play, A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, falls. I hope you understood the story. I hope you followed from the beginning to the end. If you have questions, let me know in the comment section. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the like button, and share the video to your friends. Thank you very much for watching, and see you very soon in another video. Bye for now.